back to the Revvie's After Show, the second segment. We've got a lot of great discussion going on when the camera was off. I'm hoping we can catch some of that again.
We got to get that lightning in a bottle.
Exactly. You'll see I have spread out my cards here that I might readily access the different categories. But we just had a discussion going on about, I don't want to step on it. You guys were having a great discussion.
It was what criteria people actually use to pick who or what they vote for in regards to it. And Shanda created a whole scheme or a whole a
matrix.
Of it.
It's like my rubric.
Yeah.
Well, how I rated the movies. I rated on a 5-point scale.
Okay. So before we get into Shanda's awesome system, I just want to say a lot of the times, especially in the beginning when people thought they had to just vote and they didn't have time to watch all the things, some people were voting based on knowing the actor from their past, what they've done, so they vote on the sort of the name. They say, oh, I know this person's a good actress. I might not necessarily saw them in this role, but I'm going to vote for them because I know whatever they've done, they're good. So that's sort of a basis where some people start, and then when you start to dive deeper and watch more of the things then and be more critical of how you judge it, then we can start going into Shanda's scale here.
Right, so it's almost like that's almost sort of like a bias in a sense when you start rating them based on what they've previously done.
Yeah.
You kind of lose your focus on that specific movie or TV show.
Exactly.
So part of my list were things like the acting skill, the versatility, the overall enjoyment of the film itself, and range of emotions. So based on all of these, all the criteria, that's how I based everything on a 5-point scale for all the movies and TV shows that I went through. And so there were some movies and TV shows that really hit those points really well, and that's where my votes came from, essentially.
And for me...
And that's why I'm kind of heated on some of these things.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you're invested.
Yes. And I'm not to say that, when I was saying about the bias, that I vote that way necessarily, but I just say that's a way that some people start, especially if you don't have time to watch all the things. Some people just start with that. There were some categories that I didn't actually wind up watching any or only maybe one of the things, so I abstained from voting in that category because I was like, it's not fair to cast my vote because I haven't really seen that.
And I believe, sorry to cut you off, I believe that one, even though it's beloved, I believe one extreme bias is we're Canadian. So most of the people that voted were probably Canadian. Schitt's Creek destroyed everybody in every category. Except for Best Supporting Female, because it was a tie. Schitt's Creek cleaned up 90%, and I think a lot of it had to do not just because it is a popular series,
but also when it's the last season of something,
and it is a beloved Canadian people. Canada embraced it. America loves it now. But Canada
got picked up by Netflix, so then it got a wider release.
It was originally a CBC series, and then Netflix picked it up, and it became huge. And I believe that had that in regards to a bias. I think it was overwhelmingly destroyed. And I personally, I would have not. That wouldn't have been my vote for best comedy. I would have picked Ted Lasso, and Ted Lasso. Jason Sudeikis would have won for it because I think that show is brilliant. If people haven't watched it, you need to watch it. And it didn't get the love.
Really, it's enjoyable.
It's really well done.
Well done.
The character is just so lovable. You can't hate him. You can't. I'm not a Jason Sudeikis fan. I went in biased as not a Jason Sudeikis fan. For some reason, he's one of those actors that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. After watching it, I loved him. I was a big fan of the show. You two have watched it as well, right?
Well, it was funny because we watched that together, how quickly it became addictive.
Yes. We were like, we'll just watch one episode to see what it's like. And then we're like, another one. Okay, another one. And I was like, are you sure we were going to watch a movie tonight. You sure we don't want me to put on the movie tonight? No, it's okay, Tanya. Let's keep watching it.
Yeah, it was very...
and it makes you feel good. In this 2020, Ted Lasso, or we're in 2021 now, but I mean, it's the same year.
In this COVID,
in this
2020 part 2.
In this COVID of 2020, the extended edition, Ted Lasso is the TV show you need to watch because it fills you with hope. It has nothing to do with COVID, but it just fills you with hope, and he's so optimistic, and
it was very real.
Yeah.
And it had that great range of emotions through multiple characters.
Yeah.
So I thought the dynamic between everyone worked really well.
And it's unfortunate that it's on that Apple Plus because not a lot of people have access to it. It's difficult.
And now hearing you guys talk about it, I'm kind of sad that I don't
Oh,
have access to it.
It is so well done. Yeah, it's so well done. I mean,
So, but I think it doesn't have. I think the thing is, a lot of people haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have the distribution level. Because the Schitt's Creek, it's CBC show,
and then it's on Netflix.
and then Netflix picked up to help distribute it around the world as well. But it still continued to be on CBC, so it's on over the airways. And then you have two acting comedy legends. So that brings in the older crowd, and the younger crowd comes in because of the content. I mean, Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara,
and it is
comedy legends in Canada and US.
O'Hara was one of my crushes, by the way.
Yeah, in Canada and US. What they were on? What was it? What was Eugene Levy started on? Was it
SCTV? The American Pie.
The American Pie. And Catherine O'Hara, Home Alone.
Yeah.
And
Beetlejuice.
SCTV as well.
Oh, Beetlejuice. Oh,
Beetlejuice, yeah. Catherine O'Hara, they're both legends. They are both comedy legends. And Dan Levy became huge. Like, everybody loves fucking Dan Levy. Everybody loves him.
He was one of those characters that the first couple, I don't know if it was the first season, but there's an awkwardness to him. You almost don't know if you like him or not, but then the character develops, and all of a sudden he's charming, and you're rooting for him. You didn't fall in love with his character right away.
Well,
I'm not saying you
no, they were so obnoxious, all of them. They were so entitled, right? They were so entitled and obnoxious.
You really grow to love that character.
So what other things?
So just touching back on her point of saying what makes a good someone to vote for, the biggest thing for me, and it's the most rare thing, is when someone that you known as an actor and actress in other things, so you know the face, they disappear so much into the role that you don't even realize it's them. And there's only been a few people that's happened to me, and sometimes when they have really good makeup as well, it makes a big difference. Like Charlize Theron's done that for Monster, and in Bombshell, she looked on that persona, and
Gary Oldman for Churchill.
Kate Winslet in the Steve Jobs movie.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of her. I didn't even realize it was her. She just became that character. And then this year, Sacha Baron Cohen, I didn't even realize it was him, because you're so used to seeing him as that sort of funny guy, and he just was such a serious character that I don't know, we were partway through the movie now, and I just turned to you and I was like, is that him? Oh, that is him. Oh, okay. So I think that's a really good sign that when someone gets so much into the role that they're...
what's his name did it a couple years ago. Christian Bale did it in Vice a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
Just to go back to Sacha Baron Cohen for a minute, if you've never looked this up, before you heard the name Sacha Baron Cohen, before you heard Borat,
Ali G.
Before you heard of Ali G, take a Google and try to look up Super Greg. Super Greg, like Greg. Everybody at home, this is from the early days of the internet.
Oh, wow.
Super Greg.
This is pre-HBO.
It is an unknown Sacha Baron Cohen.
Wow.
It was Super Greg. That's all I'm going to ask you to do.
Okay.
I think we're almost ready to branch off for the
other
next
person
segment.
that really goes into it, Doug Jones.
Yes.
Do we want to touch on Doug Jones?
The way if you watch him in a role, even something so simple in Star Trek Discovery, when he's walking, he waves his arms behind his back. He's played all these crazy
Oh,
characters.
yes, he's by far the greatest person that
what
has
was
to
it?
wear prosthetics.
Thing of Water,
Yes.
Shape of Water.
He was Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies. Yeah,
Like he is master of that and doing such little things to the character beyond all the makeup and everything, prosthetics he's wearing. Just to give those little touches to the character that it really just makes it like amazing.
He was actually in a Batman fan film that I watched recently on from Batten this Bat.
You watched
Sun.
a Batman movie?
That was a fan film. I heard about it on Fat Man Beyond. And so I wanted to check it out, and it was actually very good. And he was a Riddler. He played the Riddler in Arkham Asylum. Yeah,
I'm telling you, the quality of these fan films.
These guys were really
well, that
good.
Anakin one we watched, that was amazing. Star Wars Theory.
Yeah, he brought it. These guys they can do amazing things. You know why? Because they are fans, and that's the thing. When you love it that much. But we're getting off on a whole other tangent there. Now
that's what the after show is all about. It's all about tangents. Okay, but I think we're going to take a break.
We're going to take a break here, and we're going to return
we might
for
come
another
back
part.
One more because people are talking.
They
and,
are. People
let the
like
roll.
Yeah, this is the gold here. This is the gold.
This is it.
So we're going to go to another commercial break, and then we'll be back.